Hey everybody, I'm Rich Savage. Are you ready to do some time traveling? It's time for Monster Kid Memories. Hey everybody, welcome to Monster Kid Memories. I'm your host, Rich Savage, and in this episode, we're going to go back into time and look at some dangerous toys. Let's go.
Believe it or not, there was a time when things weren't so regulated, and safety concerns weren't a top priority, even when it came to toys. In the days before helicopter parents and outrageous lawsuits, kids like me played at their own risk. I can still remember the smell of goop cooking in my Monster Maker and boiling test tubes with my chemistry set's Bunsen burner until the boiling liquid contents exploded all over the living room. My brother and I may have suffered a slight burn or bruise from time to time, but we've both lived to tell the tale. I don't recall my parents ever supervising us. I think they were just glad we were being quiet. The first toy that's on our dangerous toys list made its appearance every single summer. The dreaded slip and slide. The slip and slide was manufactured by Wham-O and first introduced in 1961 after being invented by Robert Carrier. Carrier used his job as an upholsterer to obtain a long strip of naugahyde to which he sewed a tube to pass a hose into and punctured the tube intermittently to allow water to spurt out. Carrier sold his invention to Wham-O, which replaced the naugahyde with plastic to cut down on production costs. At a time when neighborhood swimming pools were few and far between and water slide theme parks were non-existent, the idea was to cool off and have fun at the same time by running up to and then belly flopping down on a water-slicked strip of vinyl. Wham-O sold millions of slip and slides over the years, and if a kid broke a toe on one of the stakes that secured the mat to the ground or slid too far right onto the driveway, well, it was all part of the experience. It wasn't until the more litigious 1990s that words like spinal cord injury and death started appearing in the lengthy list of warnings included on the slip and slide instruction sheet. Both the manufacturer and the Consumer Product Safety Commission recommended that only children use the toy due to risk of back and neck injuries when it's used by teenagers and adults. Injuries occur because people heavier or taller than children might stop suddenly when diving onto the toy. Between 1973 and 1991, 7 adults and a 13-year-old suffered neck injuries or were paralyzed while using slip and slides. An exposed hot plate combined with potentially toxic fumes equaled fun in 1964. The Thing Maker was a gadget you plugged in and then waited until it heated up to 390 degrees. Then you poured plastic goop into the creepy insect-shaped metal molds and waited for them to heat set. Ideally, you were supposed to wait until after you unplugged the Thing Maker and it had cooled off before removing your creepy crawlers. But who has time for that when you want to scare your mom? Burns and blisters were a fact of life in the plastic bug business, and you simply sprayed the injury with some Bactine and hid it from mom so she wouldn't take away your Thing Maker. Plastic goop was marketed as non-toxic, but that was in 1964, before the dangers of little things like melted PVC and lead paint were generally known. The burns would be bad enough, but the chemical gel, the plastic goop, used for the original crawlers also gave off toxic fumes. A revival in 1978 with new, safer formulas and plastic, not metal, molds didn't do as well. Most likely because they took all the danger out of it, and the fun. It's generally believed that production of the original Mattel Thing Makers was discontinued following consumer safety concerns over allowing children to use a small electric heater as a toy. After being out of production for more than a decade, the Creepy Crawlers brand was brought back in 1992 by a New York-based company called Toy Max. With much stricter safety regulations in place, the new version of the Creepy Crawler set reintroduced the metal molds and earlier plastic goop type formulation, but now used a light bulb powered Magic Maker heater, with a heat-triggered door designed to remain closed until the mold had cooled sufficiently to be handled safely. Where's the fun in that? Last on our list of this episode's dangerous toys is the dreaded super elastic bubble plastic. Another entry from those folks at Wham-O. The toy was first introduced in the 1970s, and the fun behind super elastic bubble plastic was contained inside a metal toothpaste-like tube filled with colorful liquidy plastic-y substance. You squeezed out a tiny glob of the stuff, rolled it into a tiny ball, and then plopped it onto the end of a plastic straw, which was included. Then, you blew into the straw to create a multicolored sphere that was more durable than a soap bubble, but a bit more fragile than a traditional balloon. The drawback was that one of the main ingredients in super elastic bubble plastic was ethyl acetate, a solvent used in nail polish remover. Combine that with polyvinyl acetate, the other primary component, and kids were exposed to some serious health risks if they happened to inhale too much of the noxious fumes while inflating their plastic bubbles. It's no wonder the toy was discontinued in the 1980s. It's a wonder we all survived.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us for Monster Kid Memories. Please subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for alerts, and leave comments below. Let us know about your favorite Monster Kid memory. I'll see you next time.